Hello and welcome to Euro Football Daily, where today we're looking at 10 of the best players ever produced by the USA. 10. Christian Pulisic. The US men's national team has had plenty of promising youngsters over the years, but never one of the world's best, until Christian Pulisic. Picked up by Borussia Dortmund at 16, the attacking midfielder is already an important part of Thomas Tuchel's squad, and looks like becoming an elite creative talent, something the US have often lacked. Pulisic is the youngest foreigner ever to score in the Bundesliga and the youngest player to score for the US, having debuted for his nation at 17 years and 6 months old. Able to play wide and through the middle, the Pennsylvanian has 3 goals and 2 assists in his first 10 games for the USMNT and is already gaining Champions League experience at the Westfalenstadion. His potential alone gets him onto our list, not as a star of the present, but certainly one for the future. 9. Fabian Johnson. Lining up against Pulisic in the Bundesliga is Fabian Johnson, Borussia Mönchengladbach's flying winger. Johnson was born in Munich to a German mother and an American father, who was stationed in the country with the US Army, and Johnson represented Germany as a youth. He played alongside Neuer, Boateng and Hummels as Germany won the Under-21 Euros in 2009. But a call from Jurgen Klinsmann convinced him to switch allegiances, and he has gone on to win more than 50 caps for the USA. His whole club career has been spent in Germany though, featuring for Hoffenheim and Wolfsburg before joining Die Fohlen in 2014. And Johnson's 2015-16 season was his best yet, as he scored 6 and assisted 4 in 26 league games, while bagging his first Champions League goal against the mighty Juventus. 8. DaMarcus Beasley. Versatile left-footer Beasley featured as a fullback and a winger over 14 years in the USMNT, making his debut at 18 in 2001 and going on to appear 123 times for his country. To date, he is the only American to play at 4 World Cups and retired from international football in 2015. Now 34, Beasley started his career in MLS, but spent 7 years in Europe and 3 in Mexico, winning 2 titles with Rangers in Scotland and another 2 with PSV in the Eredivisie. He helped the Dutch outfit reach the semi-finals of the Champions League in 2004, before leaving on loan for Man City. Nicknamed Run DMB in his youth for his explosive pace, Beasley's intelligence has enabled him to transition into a solid left-back, and he now turns out for Houston Dynamo in his homeland. 7. Tim Howard. Much maligned in his final days at Everton, Tim Howard was a faithful servant for the Toffees over 10 years and 414 appearances. Howard moved to Merseyside from Man United, where he was named in the Team of the Year in his very first campaign. With more than a century of caps, Howard has been a wall at the back for the US, even being christened the Secretary of Defence after his extraordinary 16-save performance against Belgium at the 2014 World Cup. The owner of one of football's best beards, Howard has even got himself on the scoresheet before, punting one in from his own penalty area against Bolton. Howard famously suffers from Tourette's syndrome and obsessive-compulsive disorder, which he says helps him reach a level of hyper-focus on the pitch. And still going strong at 37, it's hard to argue with the big man. 6. Eric Wijnaldum. Eric Wijnaldum was a true trailblazer, becoming the first American to play in the Bundesliga when he joined Saarbrücken in 1992. His eye for goal saw him named Best Newcomer in Germany, though he couldn't prevent the Saarland side from being relegated. In the Zweite Bundesliga, Wijnaldum's numbers were off the charts, as he scored 14 and assisted 25 in one campaign, this time being named Player of the Year. But before long he returned to the US, joining the San Jose Clash for the very first MLS season and scoring the league's first goal ever in a 1-0 win over DC United. A natural finisher, Waldo scored 34 goals in 106 international caps and played for his country in 3 World Cups. However, his national team experience was sullied a little when teammate John Harkes had an affair with Wijnaldum's missus. So while Wijnaldum was often called the best finisher in the colours, Harkes was the best finisher in his wife. 5. Kasey Keller. Kasey Keller was the first American goalkeeper to play regularly in the Premier League, the Bundesliga and La Liga, spending 16 of his 22 years in the game playing outside the USA. The big Washingtonian was a smart and agile shot stopper, guarding the net for top-flight sides like Leicester, Tottenham and Rayo Vallecano in more than 700 matches. Perhaps Keller's finest hour came in 1998, when he was voted the best player at the CONCACAF Gold Cup. In the semi-final against World Cup holders Brazil, Keller made an astonishing 10 saves, including 5 from Romario, to give the USA a 1-0 win. Afterwards, a dazed Romario said, "That is the best performance by a goalkeeper I have ever seen." Keller retired in 2011, having won the MLS Keeper of the Year award in his final season. 4. Clint Dempsey. Is there a more American player than Clint Dempsey? Aside from being called Clint, the Texan is a hard-working, heart-on-his-sleeve bulldog of a player, which perhaps explains why he became so well loved at Fulham. One of only 2 men to reach 50 international goals for the USA, Dempsey joined the Londoners at 23 and spent 6 years at Craven Cottage before an ill-advised switch to Spurs. Never afraid to take responsibility, he scored 17 in the league in 2011-12, becoming Fulham's top scorer in the Premier League, and his one-time national coach Bruce Arena summed it up when he said, "He tries shit." Dempsey is still an integral part of the USMNT setup, and with 30 goals in 66 for the Seattle Sounders, Deuce has still got it. Except when it comes to rap. 3. Claudio Reyna. Claudio Reyna was born in New Jersey and was taught to play football by his father, an Argentinian immigrant who had played professionally in his homeland. Reyna became a creative midfielder and was acquired by Bayer Leverkusen at 21, where he struggled to get into the team. Wolfsburg took him on loan, and Reyna became the first American to captain a European team, earning the nickname Captain America for obvious reasons. He went on to win the double with Glasgow Rangers and played in the Premier League with Sunderland and Man City, where his teammates included Joe Hart and a young Daniel Sturridge. Skillful and calm on the ball, Reyna could also play at right back and defensive midfield, winning 112 caps and scoring 8 goals. And his relationship with Man City proved fruitful even in retirement, as he is now Director of Operations for the Citizens' sister club NYCFC. 2. Brad Friedel. Brad Friedel was an outstanding athlete in his school days, showing promise as a tennis and a basketball player before heading to UCLA on a soccer scholarship. Work permit issues prevented Friedel joining Newcastle after college, and after a stint back in his native Ohio, he moved to Galatasaray. Before long, the stopper had switched to the Prem, appearing for Liverpool, Blackburn, Villa and Spurs, and he didn't miss a league game between 2004 and 2012, playing in an amazing 310 consecutive matches. He became the oldest player ever at Villa and Spurs while earning 82 international caps. Friedel retired at the age of 44 in 2015, his quality and professionalism having cleared the way for Americans abroad. He has since gone on to coach the US under-19s. 1. Landon Donovan. It couldn't have been anyone else. Landon Donovan is the second most capped player in USMNT history with 157 appearances, has racked up more than 50 assists for the side, and his 57 international goals make him the country's all-time top scorer. Donovan played with Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern Munich in Germany and spent 2 loan spells with Everton in the Premier League. But it is MLS which has seen Donovan's best. The Californian is the competition's top scorer and top assister ever, contributing to an incredible 281 goals in 340 MLS games. Donovan has won a record 6 MLS Cups, more than any team has managed, and his achievements have been recognised by the league, with the MLS MVP award renamed in his honour, especially remarkable given that he's still playing. The USA's finest and our number 1. And a final shout out to Jovan Kirovski, the only American to win the Champions League, though actually he didn't make the squad for the final when Borussia Dortmund beat Juventus back in 1997. So those were our 10 best American exports, but who should we have included? Who would you have put in? Alexi Lalas, Kobe Jones? Let us know in the comments below. Now if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out Euro Roundup from Monday, where Chris Hamill and I picked over the weekend's international action. And as ever guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.